And although she admits that she hasn't always made the best decisions when it comes to men, she feels as though Brittany could have been more supportive. Ashley's countersuing for emotional distress.
Start with you.
Basically, we have that twin power. We have a close bond. We've always been close. We didn't have the perfect childhood. We're in foster care. We lost our mother at 5.
How many years?
And at the age of 8, we went into foster care and they separated us. And at that time, I was distraught. I didn't know what I was going to do. And we was reunited maybe at 12 or 13. And I feel like I got my best friend back.
Good. And where did you all stay when you were reunited?
With our maternal grandparents.
Okay, good.
Right. And other than that, we have everything. We have a good little thing going. The only thing we don't agree on is men. Like, I want somebody who's going to love and respect me and give me what I deserve. And when it comes to her, she's okay with just having somebody cheat on her and lie and just go through the emotions. And I try to help her with that. And that's kind of where we clash with men.
Like what? Give me an example.
Like for instance, she won't pay her bills. She'll rather pay a man's phone bill than pay her election bill.
Okay, she'd rather give a man some money than to take care of her own bill.
Right. You have your own responsibility, so that kind of affects us.
You want to talk about any of this?
Yeah, I'm going to start by saying this. There's a good twin, there's a bad twin, and there's an evil twin. She's the evil twin. Okay? You know, even though, you know, I probably have not chose the best people in my relationship, you know, I always still treat her like she comes first, you know. She's never been like the person to be supportive. You know, okay, I'm with somebody that you don't like, okay, still support me. Still be nice and respectful to them. You know, she'll come in, hey, you know, to him. You know, it's vice versa when she's with somebody. She can get in an argument with them that day and tell me about it. I'm not going to treat him no different. I'm going to still be nice to him. But with her, she's not like that. She's going to have an attitude, hold a grudge.
Not only does she judge your relationship, she reacts to that judgment.
And they'll make me and her clash.
If it affects me, I will. Yes, I will.
How does it affect you?
When you can't pay your bills and I'm picking up your slack.
There you go. Have you in the past paid the bill of one of your guy friends when you weren't able to pay your own bill?
I probably would be left with no money, you know, making sure I pay my bills and pay his stuff, pay that stuff. Yeah, maybe that is true. But just not to pay the bill, period,
You'll pay his bill and be broke. That's
what I'll be. I'll just be broke. And she'll be like, well, you should have money.
Why should we have to live like that?
Well, it's still, my bills still got paid, though, will get paid. I mean, I had no money, but they still get paid.
How often are you broke because you give your money to men?
Ooh.
That much?
No, not that much. It's been times where, I mean, it happens a lot, but like I said, my bills are paid. I'd rather have my bills paid than I have no money, period.
You're broke and he has money.
No, he don't have no money. That's why I pay it for him.
That's game. That man has money. If he's always broke, I'm with her.
He's broke.
You can't always be broke. But man, I understand that you can help your man, or you should perhaps help your man if you got a real relationship from time to time. But if he's always needing your financial help,
I
don't know. I might be with her. It's just, you know, if I was your twin, I would get a little bit out of shape with him as well. I would think he's using my sister. And so I wouldn't like him. I wouldn't like anybody that uses my sister. If it's a man using my daughter, the first thing I do is talk to him.
Right.
With my security sitting there. But and then I would fall out with him if he continues to use my daughter. If he changes, then I'll embrace him. And even help him find a job. But if it appears the way he's coming off to me, he's using my daughter, then we have a problem. And I would dislike him, like your sister dislikes this guy who sounds like, in my opinion, is using you. If you always have to get this man money. Anything else you want to tell me before we get to the rent?
You summed it up.
Talking about you can pay your bills. She's suing you for rent.
Yeah, that's the reason.
You're giving your money away to a man and you can't even pay your rent.
It's a reason. And what she failed to mention is, it's not like that now. Now everything, I am married to this man, and we have found a way to grow. Good. Now before, yes, he was doing cheating. I mean, you know, but we got it together. Now he's on a track where I understand. So she holds his past against him.
Got it.
You see what I'm saying? That's what she felt. She meant as bill.
I didn't hear that part. All right. Go ahead. Let me hear about the rent. How does she owe you for it?
We decided to get a place together.
When?
A 3-bedroom. March 2014. We got a year lease. She has children, so we decided to get it together. And everything was going good until she...
How much was the rent?
$2,000 a month.
$2,000?
It was fully furnished, stainless steel. Everything was nice.
What was her share, though?
$1,000 a month.
Okay, got it. Okay.
And everything was great until she got involved with this gentleman. And I just started seeing things where he would just come in and just... Anytime you see somebody who does not live there for days at a time, just lounging...
We got all that, ma'am. She's married to him now.
More of Judge Mathis in a moment.
Ultimately, I did relinquish that job.
Why?
I was...
Relinquish.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
I relinquished that job.
That's probably the wrong word, Your Honor.
But I like the way you at least try and speak.
I did.
Yeah, what was that? Did she describe the crackhead? Introduced to my household. Yeah, he introduced a foreign substance into my household.
And coming up...
She jumped on me.
Physically?
She broke my foot.
When?
This was the beginning of that year. She broke my foot.
Did you?
And my foot is still broken. I can show you. My foot is still broken. And she make jokes.
I don't want to see that.
What I'm saying is, she make jokes about it. She make jokes about it 24/7.
If it's broke, you said it's still
But you can't tell. It's pretty.
I grew up in Detroit, and I'm proud of where I come from. It's a tough city, but there's a lot of love here. And I carry that tough love with me as a judge. And I still... Did you give me money to me? That much?
No, not that much.
Plaintiff Brittany Cooper is suing her identical twin sister, who she says would rather spend money on men than pay her own bills.
So if you win, he has to pay part of this judgment, too, because it's joint assets now.
Right. So we got the apartment. I'm sorry, we got the home, and I guess it became overwhelming because we started arguing and fighting, and I went out of town. I stayed for a little over a week.
What do you mean by fighting? Physical?
No, never. Altercations, verbal altercations.
Got it.
And so I went out of town, and I was gone for maybe a little over a week, and I came back, and she was gone. Everything was packed up.
No notice?
No notice, no nothing. No 30-day notice, no notification. That was in November.
All right. And did you all discuss her continuing to pay because you had a lease together?
When I spoke with her, she didn't answer the phone because she knew what she had done. It was probably maybe like a week or two. I'm used to talking to her 24/7, so the fact that I already knew she felt like she did something wrong because she didn't answer the phone. So when I got on the phone with her, maybe in 2 weeks, what? I didn't do nothing? You'll be okay, you'll be okay. So it was all kind of excuses. So I was like, well, are you going to pay anything? Because be mindful tax time was coming up. So I said, okay, well, can you throw me a little something? I mean, if I can.
Hadn't given you a dime?
No, haven't given me anything. Ma'am,
what do you say to this?
I told Brittany almost every day towards the time when I was going to move out. I used to say, all the time, it's going to come to an end. I have to leave. I want to start a family. The normal thing what normal people do. I want to start a family. And
let's start from the beginning, and that is that you all start sharing the rent March of 2014. Yes. And was that the agreement?
Yes.
All right. You had an agreement to stay there for a year and split the rent. And then you got religion about moving in with this man.
I did.
All right. When did you determine you wanted to move? In
the beginning of November. I think it was like the last time he came over, and Brittany came in. She must have got into it. She must have was upset before she came in the house because she came in just throwing stuff. I mean,
she said, "What my rent?"
No, this is, but before I moved out, the last time the altercation, I had told her, I can't live like this. You got an attitude when he come in all the time. You don't know how to talk to nobody, and I'm not the kind of person that just like to sit there. I got feelings just like you do.
Okay. And you were paid up on your rent at that point.
Correct. I was paid on time.
You were always paid up on your rent. So I can bring whoever I want over as long as it's not disrupting your quiet enjoyment of your home.
Yeah, but I think she got upset because, one day start turning to like 6 days out the week. I wanted to see him.
You start staying overnight 6 days a week?
Yeah, I like seeing him.
Well, it's unfair to her. So, yeah, that is something that would upset someone. And what happened? You moved and you say you told her. What did she say when you told her all these times you were moving? What did she say?
Girl, whatever. I won't hear that.
She didn't say that's fine.
No, she didn't say that. She
all right, well then, yeah.
But she did say, when I told her I want to start a family, she was like, you know, we'll still always be cool. You know, you're my twin sister. We always gonna have that bond.
Yeah, I agree. Won't you still be cool?
After that year. Yeah. When that lease over with, we'll be good.
But what about this money?
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like, if it was the other way around, and
if,
yeah,
she wants her money.
She knew that I was that I knew she had a relationship.
How does she owe you 1,000? You're stuttering around. You know you owe her.
Well, Brittany is very abusive, and I mean verbally. She will make you feel like, oh my God, I just got to go on and hide out.
Some specific incidents.
Me and Brittany got upset. I don't know why she was upset at me about something. We went home, and when Brittany says something, she wants it her way or no way. And her opinion is what matters. So whatever you say, it means nothing.
What did she do?
She jumped on me.
Physically?
She broke my foot.
When?
This was the beginning of that year. She broke my foot.
Did you?
My foot is still broken. I can show you. My foot is still broken. And she makes jokes.
I don't want to see it. Because if it's broke,
she makes jokes about it. She makes jokes about it.
I don't want to see no ugly feet. If it's broke, you said it's still broke.
But you can't tell. It's pretty. You can't tell.
Whatever you said, I can show you my.
What I'm saying is, she makes jokes about it to this day. Like, your feet ugly.
She said she didn't do it, ma'am. You got any evidence that she did it?
No.
Anything else?
No.
All right. She is so adamant that she didn't do anything. I don't know who to believe. I'm not saying you're lying, but you have the burden of proving it, and you haven't proved it. All right, so I'm going to have to dismiss your claim for $1,000, and I'm going to have to grant her $4,000 because your only defense to the rent is that you all will always be cool.
We will.
And you will, right? After you pay that $4,000. Judgment for the plaintiff. Have a good day.
No hard feelings whatsoever. Just, you know, never go into business with your family. Never live with your family member. Ever.
Well, you know, I love her. I really don't care. I just want to give Dora a hug. That's what I really wanted to do. Okay.
Plaintiff Jennifer Humble says dating the defendant was a huge mistake because he often smoked crack in their home, despite his claims of being sober. Jennifer says as a result of the defendant's crack use, he became aggressive and verbally abusive, and she's suing him today for the value of a car. Defendant Scott Hobbs claims he reconnected with Jennifer after not seeing her for 20 years, and 2 days later, she moved in with him. Scott claims 3 weeks later, Jennifer quit her job and wanted him to support her, which caused a lot of problems in their relationship.
Start with you.
I'm here today because dating Mr. Hobbs was just really a big mistake that I've made in my life. In the beginning of our relationship, he did disclose to me that he had been a crack addict for 10 years, currently clean and sober. It wasn't too long into the relationship that it was introduced into our living situation, our lives. He was abusive. He was demeaning.
What do you mean introduced?
He physically would bring it into the home. He would
do what with it?
He would smoke it.
All right then. He became a crackhead again.
Okay.
See, when you put it so nice, people don't know what you're talking about.
I'm sorry, Your Honor.
I was about to feel sorry for him, and he probably smoking now.
No, sir.
You're not smoking anymore?
No,
when
sir.
You stop?
It's been a few years.
Judge Mathis will be right back.
From the time they moved in, you know, between the two of them, it was constant arguing and bickering because Mr. Perry had took up with a young woman.
Now you done got in the business.
I'm sorry.
How you know?
And still to come.
That might have been weed. Weed, you just smoking, you might fall asleep for a couple hours. Then you get up and go home. Stop by a gas station, get you some candy and some snacks.
Did she boot her boyfriend?
She did put him out, and he was looking through the window, and she had another male in the house.
She said it was her friend, you know.
She threw you out and kept the other man in. What do you mean introduced?
He physically would bring it into the home. He would
do what with it?
He would smoke it.
All right then. He became a crackhead again.
Okay.
Plaintiff Jennifer Humble dated the defendant, and she claims despite the fact that he said he was sober when they first got together, he often smoked crack in their home.
And I feel sorry if you relapsed. If you've been addicted in the past and you recovered and you've done your best and you've relapsed, I feel sorry for you. It's the folks that come in here that just still smoking and won't stop.
And I understand that, Your Honor. I do understand that, Your Honor. I understand addiction also has relapse involved. The problem with the relationship is it became, I think, the usage caused a lot of trust issues, lying, disappearing for hours at a time.
Only hours?
Hours. It was
well,
hours.
You didn't relapse that bad.
It was hours.
How long is it?
Days.
Days. There you go. You missing for days. He wasn't that bad. That might have been weed. Weed, you just smoking, you might fall asleep for a couple hours. Then you get up and go home. Stop by a gas station, get you some candy and some snacks. Go ahead, man.
I just feel like all the deception led to a complete breakdown in the relationship. Ultimately, there was a lot of verbal abuse. He would kick me out of the apartment, let me back in the next day.
Really?
Yes. Set my stuff physically outside. I would move out and be allowed to come back the next day.
Did you ever go to the authorities on him?
I did call the police one time during a violent episode. Basically,
physically violent towards you?
No, not towards me. I felt like eventually it would lead to that, punching walls, throwing things, destroying my property.
Okay. Nothing funny about that, sir. Did any of that happen? Let me hear from you.
Some of that is true. As far as putting her out, when you run into someone after 20 years of not seeing them, but maybe here and there, and you start a relationship with them, and approximately 2 days after you start talking to them, they move into your home. 3 weeks beyond that, they quit their job of 3 years and start wanting to live off of you. That puts a strain on a relationship. So, but no, I was never
let her move in 2 days after seeing.
Yeah, she had no place to go. Where she was staying before I ran into her, once that person found out she was dating someone, he told her to get out.
Dating someone as in you?
Yeah. But there was never any physical violence. And I will admit that I did have a bad temper sometimes, but I take care of 3 children that I pay child support on every week. Plus I pay my bills. I can't take on another human being. That's right. Absolutely not.
Okay.
And for someone to have a job that was a good job and just quit it.
Did you quit your job?
Your Honor, I did not quit. I had medical issues. When I did run back into Mr. Hobbs after so long, I was on medical leave from that current job. Ultimately, I did relinquish that job.
Why?
I was...
Relinquish.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
I relinquished that job.
That's probably the wrong word, Your Honor.
But I like the way you at least try and speak.
I did.
Yeah, how did she describe the crackhead?
Introduced
to my household. Yeah, he introduced a foreign substance into my household. All right, now you relinquished your job. No, you quit.
I bowed out.
Go ahead.
I bowed out gracefully. I was okay. I bowed out gracefully.
But why didn't you just take a leave?
I did. I did. I was on a sick leave.
Okay.
Two different times in the past. With the time I ran into him within a 4-month period.
Okay, let's talk about the car you're suing him about.
Yes, Your Honor. I did lose my license. I owned a 1992 Jeep Wrangler that I did bring into the relationship. Mm-hmm. I did receive a letter stating that my license was being suspended and I could not register that vehicle. No longer in my name, tags, anything of that nature. Mr. Hobbs and I agreed that we would put it in his name in order to get us to and from work. I did obtain a job at his company.
Good.
We were working together. We were going to church. He had a young daughter that we would go pick up. We needed a vehicle, and he did not have one. Our agreement was, though, at any given time, per se, I left the relationship, that vehicle was to be signed back over to me. Mm-hmm. And when, I do have a promissory note that Mr. Hobbs wrote himself and we both signed regarding that.
You signed it as well?
I'm sorry?
You signed it?
We both signed it.
Okay, good. The 92 Jeep Wrangler, white in color, belongs to Jen. Oh boy, it's in my name and I will sign it over as soon as she pays title and tag it. All right, did you pay the title and tag it?
Your Honor, The last time I did call him regarding the vehicle was last summer. I knew I couldn't put it in my name, but my daughter needed a vehicle. I was able to pay for the tag, for the title, and he did refuse to do that.
And later on Judge Mathis.
He fell in love with my daughter during high school and college. And, you know, he would come to my house 10, 11 o'clock at night trying to find out different ways to woo my daughter. But nothing ever, you know, transpired
between us. He was trying to make that girl jealous. That's your woman? Or
yes, my wife.
Uh-huh.
That's his wife? Why are you saying all that?
Just letting you know how long I've been knowing him.
Follow me on Facebook.
Lying, disappearing for hours at a time.
Only hours?
Hours. It was hours.
You didn't relapse that bad.
It was hours.
How long is it?
Days.
Days. You're missing for days, Doc.
Plaintiff Jennifer Humble dated the defendant, and she claims despite the fact that he said he was sober when they first got together, he often smoked crack in their home.
Let's hear from you, sir. What happened?
As far as that goes, I don't remember that conversation whatsoever. Once she left, once she quit working for at the job that I got for her, at the company that I worked for, it was about 6 months before I heard anything from her. And it was an anonymous call from a number that I didn't recognize. And being a phone that I get customers calling, I answered it. And when I did, she simply said, "Hey." And I'm like, "Who is this?" And when she told me, I said, "What do you want, you know?" And that was basically as far as it went, other than asking me why I'm being nasty.
Okay, now you know what she called about.
Now I do know, yeah.
Now you know what she wanted.
But it never, and I'm not dumb. It very well could have been that, but it was 6-8 months later.
You gave her a time limit in which to get her car back from you?
All I told her was we were struggling for money because I was laid off. She was laid off due to working at the same company as I do. I get laid off 3 months out of the year normally. So I live on unemployment. Out of unemployment comes child support, taxes. So that's basically 50% of my unemployment. By myself, I can survive on that. With someone else, it's virtually impossible. So there was a title loan commercial came on TV. She thought it was a good idea. We checked into it. Interest rates were through the roof, but it would have got us through a 30-day period until we went back to work and had checks coming in. So reluctantly, her and I cleaned the vehicle up, went down there, applied for the loan. Of course, it was in my name, so I had to be the one to do all the paperwork. I was solely responsible for everything, so that's what I did. And throughout the, 20 or so payments that I made on a $700 loan turned out to be $2,800 due to interest, roughly. And that was partly my fault because I could have went in there with her help.
What was the agreement on the repayment of the loan?
That we would pay it off within 30 days.
Together?
Yes.
What percentage?
50-50.
Ma'am, did you all agree?
Your Honor, we did not have an agreement on how the loan was to be paid back. He did get the loan. It was in his name. He many times said to me, "I will take care of this loan."
Okay.
There was no written agreement or any kind of an agreement.
Let me ask you that. Did you ever say, "I will pay some on this loan"?
He knew I could not pay some on that loan. So no, the answer is no.
Okay, but you were on unemployment like he was, right?
I was not on I didn't get unemployment like he did.
She had no money coming in. None.
All right, so then you couldn't expect her to pay, and she wouldn't. That she says. She wouldn't promise to pay something if she has no money coming in.
We were going back to work in March, so we knew we would have both paychecks coming in by the time the payment was due.
Did you go back to work in March?
I went back to work in March.
All right, so why didn't you determine that you should help pay then?
I ended up not staying at that job, but maybe 2 more months after that.
But you knew when you started that you would have money. Why didn't you believe that you should pay when you started?
It wasn't that I didn't believe. He always told me he would take care of the loan.
Okay, and who kept the car?
He did.
You used it 100%?
Yes.
Nope. Going to work, grocery stores, church.
All right, and where's the car now?
It got wrecked over the winter. Going down the highway, hit a patch of ice.
All right, what was the value of the car? Anyone have the value of the car?
I have the blue book.
Blue book, $29.41. Divide that in two. Ma'am, I do believe that you shared the use of the car. Therefore, I'm going to grant you half of the car. $14.70 is your judgment, ma'am. Yes.
I just make one point, please.
Yes.
For him to say that he got me to and from in the vehicle, I had to get my own way to work. He would refuse to take me to the store. He would refuse. The relationship had gotten pretty bad at that point towards the end. And I would have to get my own way to the office where we both lived together.
How'd you get there?
I would have a girlfriend pick me up. My mother would pick me up or take me to work. It was a toss-up every day whether I was going to get to and from work.
Judge Mathis rules on this dispute shortly.
She changed the locks on my door because when Jason was into the relationship with this other lady, I heard noise coming. When I heard noise coming from my...
because I ain't married her daughter. That's
oh, yeah.
Did she boot her boyfriend?
She did put him out, and he was looking through the window, and she had another male in the house.
She said it was a friend, you know.
She threw you out and kept the other man inside?
Next, Judge Mathis.
Plaintiff Jennifer Humble dated the defendant, and she claims despite the fact that he said he was sober when they first got together, he often smoked crack in their home.
You never used the car at all?
No, I could not. I had no driver's license. I never drove that vehicle.
No, driving you around. You say you did.
I did drive her around, sir. Of course I did. I mean, there probably were times that I said no, but she was a very bitter individual, you know? And I had to work with her. She scheduled all my calls at work, so I had to deal with her all day.
What does being bitter have anything to do with?
Well, the last thing I really wanted to do was have to sit in traffic jam on my way home after arguing with her throughout the day on the phone. So, yeah, occasionally she would have to get her.
I would get left at the job, and he would take off in the vehicle.
So for those times she had to get a ride,
yes,
I'm going to grant her some more money. How about that? So your judgment is $2,500 instead of what I mentioned earlier. Judgment for the plaintiff for the times you had to get another ride.
Thank you,
if
Your
that's
Honor.
what he wants to claim. Have a good day.
I'm just glad it's over. I can move on.
Thank you. That's exactly what I was going to say, word for word. Closure.
Closure.
Plaintiff Marie Knott has known the defendant since he was in high school, and she claims he used to be in love with her daughter, who's with her in court today. Marie says after she rented an apartment to the defendant and his wife, the defendant started cheating, causing turmoil. So she's suing them today for damages and emotional distress. Defendants Jason Perry and his wife Jessica admit that Marie helped them out a lot, but they claim she turned out to be a wolf in sheep's clothing. Jason says Marie not only badmouthed his children, but she also disrespected Jessica, and they're countersuing for unreturned property and emotional distress.
Start with you.
Yes, Your Honor. I have been knowing Jason since early high school. You know, just like my son, he's been calling me mama since he was in high school. He fell in love with my daughter during high school and college. And, you know, he would come to my house 10, 11 o'clock at night trying to find out different ways to woo my daughter. But nothing ever, you know, transpired between the two.
You was trying to make that girl jealous. That your woman? Or
yes, my wife.
That's his wife. Why are you saying all that?
Just letting you know how long I've been knowing him.
You don't have to say that in front of this man's wife.
Okay.
How he had your daughter, or how your daughter had him wrapped around her finger.
Okay. Okay.
Did you? All right. See, she denied that. So you should feel better. She said she didn't have him wrapped around her finger. All right. Go ahead, man.
Okay. And so I've just known him a lot of his life. We've always been close, had a great relationship. I've been doing outreach ministry in the city of Montgomery for almost 20 years. And what I do, I help people.
Well, I got a buddy that Greg Calhoun.
Okay.
Calhoun Enterprise. They're on the grocery market.
Yes, sir.
He has a beautiful family. And I know them. I've known them many years.
Yes, sir. I've known them too. And he loves golf.
He does. He loves golf. Go ahead.
And so we help people. We feed, we clothe. I have a speaker that goes a mile in radius where I get on different corners of the street and just preach Jesus.
Really?
And like I say, been doing that for 20 years. And so when Jason, you know, came to me and told me that they wanted to move in one of my apartments. And when he got married, I didn't give him anything for his wedding. I didn't give him anything when he had his first baby. I said, but I'm going to be a blessing to you because that's what we do in Puritan Hearts Outreach Ministry. So I said, I'm just going to waive the first month rent. And then the move-in fee, I'm gonna waive that too. And so that's what I did in that. But from the time they moved in, you know, between the two of them, it was constant arguing and bickering because Mr. Perry had took up with a young woman.
Now you done got in the business.
I'm sorry.
How you know? How you know that's what they're fighting about?
Because it was in my face. You know, it was in my face.
That's not true.
And I pulled him to the side and I talked with him, and I even talked with the other young woman too, and I told Miss Perry that I spoke with her. And later on she spoke with her, you know, also, and told her, you know, that if you continue on, it's not going to, you know, me and you going to have another talk, you know. So they went through the process of that.
Did that have an effect? Did that?
Yes, sir. It had an effect with everything that took place here. And so,
let me get a little background from them now.
Yes, sir.
All right, but I'm glad that you bringing it to their attention help things. Good. All right.
There's more Judge Mathis after this, who claims while renting from her, Jason cheated on Jessica.
Go ahead.
Yes, I agree with her. I did met her back in high school. I was a senior when I met her daughter, and that's how I met her. She is a very respectful, nice, kind woman. She's hospitable.
I hope you're talking about the mother.
Yes,
okay.
Miss Marie.
You need to leave that alone.
No, I'm talking straight to Miss Marie.
All right, yeah. Oh, this complimenting daughter, that's not going to work out for you.
I have.
All right, go ahead.
And so when we moved in, she did those old things. She did. She helped us out. We appreciate it, and we reciprocated basically in return by allowing her to use our car. And so.
Now, what about this woman?
That's is her nosy. That's being nosy.
Yeah, it worked for you, didn't it? You tell me, ma'am.
Well, I mean, the situation was he was moving. We had just moved in, and I was working, and the young lady was helping her watch the kids while I was at work. So, you know, I guess she felt that it was inappropriate. And, you know, she brought it to the attention, so, you know, we worked it out as a personal matter.
She was looking out for you. Good. That worked out. And that's pretty much what you wanted to tell me?
Also, when we moved in, by that time, she brought us down for breakfast. So basically good things. And then it got to the point of I realized she didn't appear who I thought she was. She became like a false prophet, a wolf in sheep clothing, in my opinion. She started name calling my kids, calling them trifling, disrespecting my wife by saying, tell that wife to shut up. I have it in text messages here.
Maybe it's regarding that money. So let's see, was it before or after the money?
This is all during the same. This is all during the same time. The first highlighted portion is her telling us, calling my kids trifling.
Well, folks do turn on you when they believe you've done them wrong. Ma'am, you want to start with the property damage?
Yes, sir. Because I rented out an apartment to his sister. Mm-hmm. And so the sister got to the point where she lost her job and couldn't pay her rent. And so she moved out. She left some stuff in there. She left a couch, love seat, table, chairs, and a dryer. About, you know, a month or so later, she came back and she said, I want to go in there and get the rest of my stuff. But then later on, Jason and Jessica kept on saying, well, it's not her stuff, it's our stuff, and we want our stuff. And because I wouldn't give her the furniture, she went through the process of stopping up her sink and flooding out the kitchen upstairs. Yeah, she flooded out my kitchen upstairs, so water. I got a signed statement.
You think it was intentional?
Yes, sir.
What makes you think that?
And because I wouldn't give them the furniture, I have.
But how do you know what makes you think it was intentional? You have
because she said I had to face the consequences if I didn't give her the stuff.
And this letter came before the flood?
No, after the flood. Because this is my maintenance guy.
Now you say you were giving me something where it says this is the consequences. So you read the one that says
the consequences.
This is the consequences. Mm-hmm. That's what you said you were handing me.
Okay.
Well, just point it out to Doyle, then I'll read it.
Okay. 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 I'm not even seeing because I'm just looking, but
come on now, Reverend.
But I do have...
you got to find that. That's a big statement.
Yes, sir. I understand it is. And
you want me to take a break and let you look for it? Because that's a big statement.
Yes, sir. Because
okay, we're going to adjourn for a minute, and I'm going to let you find that. I don't think you would hand me something and say you have something in writing that is very devastating to them and you not have it. I'm going to let you take a look at it, and we're going to come back in a couple minutes, all right? Court is adjourned for a couple of minutes.
The case continues after this. Did she boot her boyfriend?
She did put him out, and he was looking through the window, and she had another male in the house.
She said it was a friend, you know. She threw you out and kept the other man inside?
Next, Judge Mathis.
Jason Perry and his wife Jessica are being sued by their landlord, who claims while renting from her, Jason cheated on Jessica.
And ma'am, you said you were showing me something where they relayed a message to you that said you would have to suffer some consequences. And that's what you believe indicated that they did that on purpose, or intentionally. You have anything there?
Yes, sir.
Okay, good.
That right there.
Okay.
So that's why you got to give Reverend some time, because I believe she's sincere. You get a lot of Bible thumpers in here. I know I can tell them when they're sincere. And let's see. We are not obligated to do that. We agreed to do it out of the kindness. So you can keep to the agreement, or you cannot. Either way, it's up to you to face the consequences. Just like you said.
Yes, sir.
So she says that you all stopped up the sink, it overflowed, and you did it on purpose, and she shows me evidence where you all discussed something about her facing some consequences. What do you want to tell me?
Well, first of all, that text message had something to do with the water bill. So when I was talking about consequences, I was talking about court or whatever it may be. We have to sue her, or she'll have to...
not paying the water bill.
Or, yeah, something like that.
All right. What happened with the overflow of the sink?
Okay, with the sink, we were at home. We were thawing out some meat, and my husband turned on the water and, put the meat in there. So anyway, the meat slid in front of the, the faucet, the sink, and then it overflowed. Immediately, we were there. We heard it, and we started to clean up the mess. We do have pictures of the kitchen because there are holes and cracks inside the hardwood floor. We had no idea that it was going to seep. I've been in apartments, lived in apartments my whole entire life, and we spilt water and never did it sink to the, So we had, first of all, we had no idea that was going to happen in the first place.
Yeah, and you have holes.
This is the first time she's ever said anything about this damage.
Well, what I am going to do on that, I'm going to conclude that you all were both negligent. So I'm going to require that you all split that damage. What is your emotional distress for, ma'am?
Okay, my emotional distress, and I also had another text where she said bad things happen to bad people, and she said stuff like that. But not only that, she changed the locks on my door because when Jason was into the relationship with this other lady, I heard noise coming. When I heard noise coming from my...
because I ain't married her daughter. That's
oh, yeah.
I thought we were past that.
Sir, I have...
All right, whatever the reason, you say the locks were changed?
The locks were changed, and I have evidence right here where she said he dropped her to the curb.
Good enough. The locks were changed, and that's the emotional distress?
No, sir. She changed the lock.
That's what we're talking about now, the emotional distress you're suing them for.
Yes, sir. When she changed the locks on my door, sir, she started calling the fire marshal and everybody, and she took pictures. When you walk into that door, I have a hall.
Do you think she did this, why, intentionally?
She did intentionally. She snatched all my pictures off the wall. I got.
Did you all do this?
No, this is what we done. She told us before, she went out of town. She told us before, tomorrow if you don't get your furniture, you can get it when we get back. You got that statements in them text messages. And then when we got back, we asked her multiple times, can we get our furniture? She said, I have better things to do. She even said that in front of the police officer I called because I thought she would say.
Your furniture is being held. You can get it. They're right, ma'am. You all had, no. You all just had a bunch of mess going on. You cannot withhold their furniture. Let's start there. That is against the law. I've heard all I'm going to need to hear, ma'am. And she withheld your furniture, and that's what you're suing about? And how much is it for your furniture?
$2,200.
$2,200 for your furniture. And the emotional distress you're suing for?
Well, yes.
$1,000. I'm not going with all this emotional distress. I'm awarding you your furniture, $2,200. I'm awarding you half of the property damage, which is $496. Half of $496 is what?
$248.
$248 is your judgment. $2,200 for your property is yours. Have a good day. No emotional distress for anybody. We're done with the mess. Have a good day.
You all are absolutely wrong, and God is going to be the judge.
Okay.
God is going to be the judge.